In the year 2075, humanity faced its greatest threat, not from climate change or nuclear war, but from an enemy beyond our stars. The sky darkened, and massive alien ships descended, casting ominous shadows over the bustling futuristic cityscape of Neo-Tokyo. The neon lights flickered, and drones zipped through the air in a futile attempt to defend against the unknown invaders. This is the story of how we survived the ultimate alien invasion. Amidst the chaos, a young woman named Alia walked through the crowded streets. At just 18 years old, Alia was a tech prodigy, her eyes scanning the environment with a cybernetic implant. She wore advanced tech gear, a testament to her brilliance and resourcefulness. Little did she know that her skills would soon become humanity's last hope. Alia had always been different. From a young age, she had a knack for tinkering with gadgets and hacking into systems. She led a group of rebels against corporate overlords, fighting for a better future in a world where cybernetics and AI were the norm. But when the aliens came, everything changed. News broadcasts around the globe were suddenly inundated with apocalyptic scenes. Colossal alien ships descending from the skies, their metallic hulls glinting ominously under the sun. The air crackled with the hum of extraterrestrial engines, drowning out the screams of terrified civilians. Panic surged through the streets as people fled in all directions, the once familiar cityscapes now transformed into nightmarish battlegrounds. Military forces scrambled to respond, but their efforts were futile against the alien onslaught. Tanks and fighter jets, once symbols of human might, were swatted aside like mere insects. The invaders' technology was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered: advanced, lethal, and seemingly invincible. Governments worldwide issued desperate pleas for evacuation, but it was painfully clear that conventional warfare stood no chance against these otherworldly foes. Amidst the chaos, Alia sat transfixed before her array of screens, her heart pounding in her chest. The news footage played out like a horrifying movie, but this was no fiction. She watched as iconic landmarks crumbled under alien fire. The Eiffel Tower collapsing in a cloud of dust, the Statue of Liberty toppling into the Hudson River. Her mind raced, searching for any glimmer of hope in this seemingly hopeless situation. As she scanned the streams of alien code that flickered across her monitors, her eyes widened. There, buried within the complex algorithms, she discovered something unexpected: a vulnerability. It was a tiny flaw, almost imperceptible, but it could be the key to turning the tide. However, exploiting it would require more than just her expertise. She needed help, and not from any ordinary ally. Alia knew that to save humanity she would have to take a monumental risk. She would need to seek assistance from someone, or something, entirely unexpected. The fate of the world hung in the balance, and time was running out. In the labyrinthine shadows of Neo-Tokyo, where neon lights barely pierced the perpetual twilight, a figure known only as Kai lurked. A former corporate spy, Kai was a legend in the underworld, a phantom with a cybernetic arm that hummed with deadly precision. His reputation preceded him: ruthless, cunning, and always one step ahead. Alia knew that if anyone could help her infiltrate the heavily guarded corporate facility, it was him. The alley where they were to meet was narrow and damp, the air thick with the scent of rain and ozone. Alia's heart pounded in her chest as she stepped into the dimly lit passage, her breath visible in the cool night air. She could feel the weight of her decision pressing down on her, but she steeled herself, knowing that there was no turning back. "Kai," she called out, her voice steady despite the knot of anxiety in her stomach, "I need your help." From the shadows, a figure materialized, moving with a fluid grace that belied his mechanical enhancement. Kai's cybernetic arm glinted menacingly in the faint glow of a distant streetlight, the metallic surface reflecting the cold, hard determination in his eyes. He regarded Alia with a mixture of curiosity and caution, his expression inscrutable. "You're playing with fire, Alia," he said, his voice a low growl that seemed to resonate with the hum of his cybernetic limb. "But, Together they huddled in the alley, their breaths mingling in the chilly air as they devised a plan. The corporate facility was a fortress, bristling with state-of-the-art security systems and heavily armed guards. But Kai knew its weaknesses, the cracks in its armor that only someone with his experience could exploit. They would strike under the cover of night, using Kai's knowledge of the facility's layout and Alia's technological prowess to bypass the security measures. Their goal was clear: steal the advanced tech that would give them the edge they needed to take down the alien mothership. It was a dangerous mission, fraught with peril, but Alia knew that it was their only chance. As they finalized their plan, Alia couldn't help but feel a spark of hope. With Kai by her side, she might just be able to pull off the impossible. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders, and they were ready to bear the weight. The corporate facility loomed before them, a monolith of steel and glass that seemed to stretch endlessly into the night sky. Its walls were adorned with the cold, unyielding gaze of security cameras, and the air hummed with the faint buzz of patrolling drones. But Alia and Kai were undeterred. They had prepared for this moment with meticulous precision. Scaling the facility's exterior was a dance of shadows and silence. Their cybernetic enhancements allowed them to move with an almost supernatural grace, fingers and toes finding purchase on the tiniest of ledges. Kai's mechanical arm flexed and extended, propelling him upward with effortless strength, while Alia's enhanced vision cut through the darkness, guiding their ascent. Once atop the building, Alia swiftly connected to the facility's security mainframe, her fingers dancing over a compact holographic interface. She navigated the digital labyrinth with the ease of a master hacker, disabling cameras and alarms with surgical precision. Each keystroke brought them one step closer to their goal, each line of code a silent testament to her skill. Inside, the corridors were a maze of sterile white walls and harsh fluorescent lighting. They moved like ghosts, slipping past patrols and ducking into alcoves to avoid the ever-vigilant eyes of the security drones. Alia's heart pounded in her chest, each beat a reminder of the stakes they were playing for. One wrong move, one slight miscalculation, and their mission would be over before it had truly begun. As they approached the vault, Alia could feel the weight of anticipation pressing down on her. The door was a formidable barrier of reinforced titanium, but she knew its secrets. With a final decisive keystroke, she unlocked the vault, the heavy door sliding open with a satisfying hiss. Inside, bathed in the cool glow of emergency lighting, lay their prize, a device unlike any other. It was a sleek metallic cylinder, its surface adorned with intricate circuitry that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. This was the key to their plan, a device capable of emitting a powerful pulse of light, designed to disrupt and overload the alien technology. Alia's eyes widened as she took in the sight, a mixture of awe and determination coursing through her veins. With this device, they had a fighting chance. They had the means to turn the aliens' own weapons against them, to strike at the very heart of their invasion. Kai nodded, a grim smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Let's get this done," he said, his voice a low growl of resolve. Together they secured the device, their movements swift and efficient. The first phase of their mission was complete, but the true test still lay ahead. They would need every ounce of their skill, every shred of their courage, to see this through to the end. Back in the dimly lit confines of Alia's underground lab, the air was thick with the scent of ozone and the hum of advanced machinery. The walls were lined with an array of screens and blinking consoles, casting an eerie glow over the cluttered workbenches strewn with tools and components. Alia and Kai worked tirelessly, their faces etched with determination as they meticulously enhanced the stolen device. Alia's eyes were bloodshot from countless hours of relentless effort, her fingers moving with a precision born of desperation. She was driven by a fierce, unyielding resolve, the knowledge that the fate of humanity rested squarely on their shoulders. Every circuit she soldered, every line of code she wrote, brought them one step closer to their goal. Kai watched her work, his admiration growing with each passing hour. He saw the fire in her eyes, the unwavering commitment that pushed her beyond the limits of exhaustion. Her dedication was infectious, inspiring him to match her intensity. His cybernetic arm whirred softly as he assisted her, its precision instruments clicking and humming in harmony with her movements. "You're something else, Alia," Kai murmured, his voice soft but filled with genuine respect. He leaned against a nearby workbench, his gaze never leaving her. "I've seen a lot of people push themselves to the limit, but you're on another level." Alia looked up from her work, her eyes meeting his. A small, weary smile played on her lips, but there was a spark of defiance in her gaze. "We're in this together, Kai," she said, her voice steady and resolute. "We'll save humanity, or we'll go down fighting. There's no other option." Kai nodded, a grim determination settling over his features. "Together," he echoed, his voice a low growl of resolve. He straightened, rolling up his sleeves, ready to dive back into the fray. "Let's make this count." As they continued to work, the lab seemed to hum with a palpable energy, a mix of urgency and hope. Every adjustment they made to the device was a step forward, a testament to their shared resolve. The device began to take on a new form, its components gleaming with a purposeful intensity. It was more than just a tool now, it was a symbol of their defiance, a beacon of hope in the face of overwhelming odds. The hours blurred into a relentless march toward their goal. Fatigue gnawed at the edges of their consciousness, but they pushed on, fueled by adrenaline and the knowledge that failure was not an option. With each passing moment they grew stronger, their bond forged in the crucible of desperation and determination. Together, they would face the alien threat and fight for the future of humanity. The day of the final battle dawned with an eerie calm, the sky a canvas of muted gray, as if the world itself held its breath in anticipation. Alia and Kai stood atop a towering skyscraper, the wind whipping around them, carrying with it the distant hum of the alien mothership that loomed ominously over the city. The structure beneath their feet seemed to tremble with the weight of their mission, every steel beam and glass pane a silent witness to their resolve. Below them, the city sprawled out in a chaotic tapestry of abandoned streets and crumbling buildings, a stark reminder of the devastation that had befallen humanity. But above, the alien mothership dominated the skyline, its massive form a dark, foreboding presence that cast a long shadow over the earth. Alia's heart pounded in her chest as she looked up at the monstrous vessel, her fingers tightening around the device they had poured their souls into. Beside her, Kai stood tall and unyielding, his cybernetic arm glinting in the faint light, ready to face whatever came next. With a deep breath, Alia activated the device. A brilliant pulse of light erupted from it, slicing through the air like a blade of pure energy. It streaked towards the alien mothership, a beacon of hope against the dark backdrop of the invading force. The mothership flickered, its once impenetrable hull shimmering as the pulse of light struck home. For a moment, nothing happened, and Alia's heart seemed to freeze in her chest. Then, with a deafening groan, the alien vessel began to malfunction. Sparks erupted from its surface, and the air filled with the acrid scent of burning circuitry. The mothership listed to one side, its engines sputtering and failing as the disruptive energy coursed through its systems. Around the world, the effects were immediate and catastrophic. Alien ships, once the harbingers of doom, started to fall from the skies like meteors, their hulls glowing with the heat of re-entry before plunging into the oceans with titanic splashes. The skies, once darkened by the swarm of invaders, began to clear, revealing the first glimmers of blue in what felt like an eternity. Kai turned to Alia, his eyes wide with awe and admiration. "You did it, Alia," he said, his voice filled with reverence. "You saved us all." Alia looked out over the city, her heart swelling with a mixture of pride and relief. The sight of the alien mothership faltering was a testament to their unyielding determination, a symbol of hope in the face of overwhelming odds. She knew that the fight wasn't over. There would be more battles to come, more challenges to face, but they had won a crucial victory. "We did it, Kai," she corrected softly, her voice steady and resolute. "Together. We proved that even in the face of the ultimate threat, humanity will never give up. We'll fight, we'll adapt, and we'll rise again." As they stood there, the wind carrying the distant cheers of survivors who dared to hope once more, Alia and Kai knew that their journey was far from over. But for now, they savored the moment, their bond unbreakable, their spirits unyielding. Together, they had turned the tide, and together, they would face whatever came next. In the days that followed the fall of the alien mothership, a palpable sense of relief and renewed hope swept through the cities. The once silent streets echoed with the sounds of reconstruction, the clatter of machinery, the hum of generators, and the voices of people united in a common purpose. Buildings that had been reduced to rubble began to rise again, their skeletal frames reaching towards the sky like phoenixes emerging from the ashes. The air was filled with the scent of fresh concrete and the promise of a new beginning. People celebrated their hard-won victory with a fervor that was both joyous and defiant. Laughter and music spilled from makeshift gatherings, and the night sky was illuminated not by the ominous glow of alien ships, but by the warm, flickering light of bonfires and lanterns. Amidst the jubilation, Alia found herself hailed as a hero. Her name was whispered in awe, her face plastered on hastily erected billboards and murals that adorned the walls of rebuilt structures. She walked through the streets, her heart swelling with a mixture of pride and humility. The weight of expectation was heavy, but it was tempered by the gratitude and admiration she saw in the eyes of those she passed. The cityscape was a tapestry of resilience and determination. Cranes and scaffolding stood as testaments to humanity's unyielding spirit, while the sounds of hammers and drills echoed like a symphony of rebirth. Alia paused atop a hill overlooking the city, her gaze sweeping over the bustling activity below. The sight filled her with a profound sense of hope for the future. She knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. The alien threat might be diminished, but it was not vanquished entirely. There would be remnants to deal with, new technologies to understand, and a world to rebuild from the ground up. But Alia was ready to face whatever came next. Her determination was unwavering, her resolve steeled by the trials she had endured. As she stood there, the wind tugging at her hair, she felt a familiar presence beside her. Kai, his cybernetic arm gleaming in the sunlight, looked out over the city with an expression of quiet resolve. Their bond had been forged in the crucible of desperation and triumph, and it was stronger than ever. "We've come a long way," Kai said, his voice soft but filled with conviction. "But there's still so much to do." Alia nodded, her eyes reflecting the determination that burned within her. "We'll face it together," she replied, her voice steady and resolute. "With you by my side, I know we can protect humanity from any threat." Together, they turned and walked back into the heart of the city, their strides purposeful and their spirits unyielding. The fight was far from over, but they were ready. With each step, they embodied the indomitable spirit of humanity, a force that could overcome any obstacle, no matter how daunting. The future was uncertain, but with Alia and Kai leading the way, it was a future filled with hope, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. The years slipped by like the turning of pages in a well-worn book, each chapter marked by triumphs and trials, victories hard-won, and lessons learned. Alia stood as a beacon of hope and resilience, her name synonymous with the unyielding spirit that had seen humanity through its darkest hours. She continued to lead the fight against any threats that dared to cast their shadows over the world, her determination unwavering and her resolve as steadfast as ever. The city that sprawled before her was a testament to the indomitable will of its people. Skyscrapers reached for the heavens, their glass and steel facades gleaming under the sun, a stark contrast to the ruins that had once littered the landscape. Parks and gardens flourished where rubble had once lain, their vibrant greenery a symbol of rebirth and renewal. The air was filled with the hum of life, the laughter of children, the murmur of conversations, and the distant rumble of industry, all woven into a tapestry of hope and progress. Alia stood atop a towering observation deck, the wind whipping around her, carrying with it the scent of the city below. Her eyes swept over the bustling streets and the gleaming spires, a sense of pride and accomplishment swelling within her. She had seen this city reduced to ashes, had fought against insurmountable odds to save it, and now she watched as it thrived, a phoenix risen from the flames of destruction. Her journey had been one of relentless struggle and unyielding determination. She had faced the ultimate threat, an alien invasion that had brought humanity to its knees, and emerged victorious. But her fight did not end with the fall of the mothership. She had continued to stand against any force that sought to undermine the peace and prosperity that humanity had fought so hard to reclaim. With each passing day, Alia proved that even in the darkest of times, there was always a glimmer of hope. Her leadership inspired others to stand up and fight for a better future, to believe in the power of unity and resilience. She had become more than just a hero. She was a symbol, a living embodiment of the spirit that defined humanity. Gilip's eyes as she looked out over the city, Alia knew that the future was bright. The scars of the past were still visible, etched into the very fabric of the world, but they served as reminders of the strength and courage that had seen them through. She had faced the ultimate threat and emerged victorious, and she knew that as long as there were people like her, willing to fight for what was right, to stand against the darkness and to never give up, humanity would always survive. The setting sun cast a warm golden glow over the cityscape, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. Alia took a deep breath, the air filling her lungs with a sense of purpose and resolve. She turned away from the observation deck, her steps purposeful, and her heart filled with determination. There was still work to be done, still battles to be fought, but she was ready. With every fiber of her being, she knew that the future was theirs to shape, and she would continue to fight for a world where hope and resilience reigned supreme. Against all odds, humanity survived the ultimate alien invasion. Thanks to the courage and ingenuity of one young woman, we proved that even in the face of the greatest threats, we will never give up. Alia's journey is a testament to the power of determination, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. As we look to the future, let us remember Alia's story and the lessons it teaches us. Let us stand together, ready to face whatever challenges come our way, for as long as we have hope, we will always find a way to survive.